Hey guys, Lindsay here. Welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, we are going to do two looks using the Whole New World palette from Glitter Realm Cosmetics. It looks like this. If you have not seen it already, I did do a first impressions video with it, so I will link that above if you haven't already watched that. I wanted to do 3 looks with this, but I really don't think I'm gonna have time to film that. As I keep mentioning, you guys know that my schedule's a little crazy right now, but I do know that I wanna do 2 additional looks with this. So let's go ahead and just zoom in and start on the first look. So for this look, I kind of want to take a little inspiration from my shirt, all these kind of yellows and oranges. So I think I might do a multicolored crease, kind of going from yellow to the kind of peachy tone and then the burgundy on the outer part with maybe the gold on the lid. Something like that. I haven't used the gold on the lid yet. So let's go ahead and start off with Riff Raff. And I'm gonna pack this on the inner part of the lid or the crease area. And I am gonna just kind of buff the edges. I don't think I'm gonna add anything on top of this particular shade here. I think I'll let that kind of be the star on the inner portion. And then I want to transition into, I think, Pretty Polly. Kind of pack that on the center area, blending it in with the yellow a little. And then I think I am gonna take a little bit of Raja, go right over the top. Just keeps it a little more peachy. Blend these two together really nicely. And then we're going to jump into Jafar. I do think I want to bring this out and we'll cut the crease. So I'm just gonna kind of stamp it. That one is incredibly pigmented. Okay, let me try to get my angle. Wipe the brush off. There's almost like too much on the brush. Blend the two together. Unfortunately, it does end up very similar to the Pretty Polly shade. I mean, you can see a subtle difference, but when you put them side by side like that, they do kind of blend together. It's not quite the difference I was hoping for. So I think what I will do is take a little bit of brown and deepen this up. So I'm gonna pop into Desert Bloom, and I think I'm actually just going to focus on where I know the cut crease will go. Just kind of blend a little bit of the shadow right at that area. So you have the depth. Once I put the concealer down, you'll have a nice little bit of depth at that line. I might actually go ahead and drag this all the way across again where I know I'm going to put the concealer. I personally always go higher with mine just so that you can actually see it because I do get that lovely little sunken in crease right there. But just do it to wherever your eye needs to be for when you do a cut crease. And just add a little bit of that depth. I kind of want to leave it bright on the inside though, so I don't think I'm going to add anything down there. Okay, and since I know kind of using concealer across red shadows can usually just turn the concealer pink, I'm going to try this little trick. I have no clue who I saw this from. I remember just seeing somebody doing it in like a quick Instagram video, so I'm sure it's not like that new of an idea. Or you just take a makeup wipe and kind of go along where your cut crease will be instead of using concealer. All right, so I still am gonna have to go in with concealer, but it at least gave me a little bit of a cleanliness on the outer part, which is what you're gonna see mostly anyways, so I don't hate it. I do kind of feel like I want to blend a little bit of this upper area a bit better. That's just kind of something I've been doing a lot lately. So I'm gonna take a clean brush and just kind of buff the upper edges until they're a lot softer. I'm gonna kind of buff a little bit this way, blending over the yellow. I think I'm already liking that actually. And actually I forgot this palette has a lighter color. So I'm gonna grab a little bit of Sultan and just kind of hit the very top of that brow area. So I would just say, like, if you're having this same issue as I am and you want to try this trick, obviously if you have a darker skin tone than what the Sultan color is, just grab your regular face powder. It just kind of helps, I think, when you use like a skin tone color powder, it helps blend that little edge if you went a little overboard for your liking. Okay, so instead of actually getting my concealer to cut the crease, I'm just going to use the shadow because I'm pretty sure this one's going to be pigmented enough to cover, especially just this little bit of yellow and slight bit of kind of peachy color. I think it will cover it just fine. So I'm gonna do that. Actually, before I do that real quick, I'm just gonna add a little bit more of Riff Raff where I feel like I've lost it blending in over here since those colors kind of look so similar. Okay, so now I'm going to take Forbidden Treasure, and I did spray this brush, and I'm going to go across the crease and make sure I get it nice and crisp as if I did a cut crease. And actually, as I'm going through and I'm kind of changing my mind a little bit, I think I want to also use the brown Prince Ali shades. So let me keep doing what I'm doing here, getting right against the crease with this gold. And what I'm gonna do is kind of just do like an angle, and then I'm gonna do Prince Ali underneath it. All right, and then for the rest of this part, I'm gonna do the Prince Ali shade. I am gonna kind of sketch it out like a wing, and then just fill that in with the Prince Ali shade. Do I like that? Okay, change of plans. I want something more bold than that. So I'm gonna use Sorcerer instead. Okay, so sketching where it goes and then filling it in. Kind of almost going very close to the lash line, almost all the way across. This will kind of act as if it's like a big graphic liner. And then I'll go back and just kind of tidy up where the gold and the maroon burgundy color meet. So I'm just going to get a little bit of the burgundy color on one side and a little of the gold on the other, and I will just kind of go back and forth until I'm happy with where they meet. So essentially, at first I thought it was just gonna be like a little diagonal, but I kind of like it being almost a jumbo liner. I'm gonna take a pencil brush back into Riff Raff and just intensify that yellow a little bit more. And just because I feel like it needs a little something on the inner part, even though I don't want to darken it, I'm just going to take Raja on my little tiny brush and kind of go across where the cut crease starts, just to add a little bit of depth, but that way it's not dark because I was wanting to keep it bright. And make sure it blends up into the yellow. Okay, just a heads up, I got a ton of fallout. I believe it was when I was using Sorcerer. Okay, for the lower lash line, I think I'm just going to line the outer part with Jafar. And use Raja on the inner part with a little of Pretty Polly kind of over the top. And then I'm just going to take a pencil brush and buff Riff Raff underneath both of those. Nothing too complicated down here. We've got enough going on up top. A little of the yellow kind of just blending out. And then back into Jafar, kind of buff it down a little. Raja. All right, and then lovely little clean brush again. Get this nice and softened so that it just kind of blends into the other shades. Perfect. All right. Oh, we need an inner corner highlight. I do think I'm going to want something brighter than just the gold though. We'll pop a little bit of that gold on the inner corner. I think I'm gonna wanna top it with a highlighter though. So let me just add a little stamp of the gold. Moon Twin palette, grab the yellow highlight emblazoned and just pop that right over the top. Okay, so that's it. I'm definitely not doing liquid liner because obviously we have kind of a faux liner going on here, but I will pop something into the waterline. I've been using this shade a lot lately. This is Puppy from ColourPop, the orange one. It just goes a lot of my looks lately, I guess. All right, so that's it. Let me go ahead and add mascara and lashes, catch the other eye up, and then I want to try to find something different for the lips. I feel like I've been doing a nude gloss a lot lately, so let me see if I can maybe come up with something different that I still like with the look, and I will be right back. Okay, so here is the finished first look. I went with super bold lashes. These are Bombshell Cosmetica Smile Surprise in the style Sweets. I know they just did like a massive blowout like on all of their stuff, so I don't think these are available anymore, but just go with the bold pair of lashes. For the lips, it's still kind of new, but at least it's on a nude lip gloss. So this is Glam Light's Churros. It's their liquid lipstick. I figure it complements the eye color really nicely. But yeah, so this is the first look. Definitely kind of a more bold graphic liner style look. A lot of fun, which is my favorite part about makeup, is just having fun. So yes, I'm really happy with the way this turned out. So let's go ahead and get into the next look. Okay, now on to look 2 with the Whole New World palette. I think for this look, I want to focus on the blues and really showcase the blues. I know I used some of them in my first look, but I really want to use Three Wishes, Genie, Princess, so it's gonna be a very blue heavy look. I don't know, I might bring in a little bit of the yellow, we'll see, but yeah, it's gonna be mostly blue. So let's go ahead and zoom in and just get started. Okay, that is not the first time that I have done that. I changed my camera settings and now it takes it a while before it basically registers that I don't have the camera recording. I do now. So I already kind of did 2 steps. So I'm gonna go ahead and just replicate it on the other eye so you guys can see. First I'm gonna put a little MAC paint pot on. Okay, and then I jumped into Sultan because I didn't want, I leave the primer tacky, but I don't want it tacky all the way up the brow bone. I want to be able to have a soft blend. So I'm putting a little bit of Sultan just on this upper brow area because Sultan is a very skin tone color for me. So if you're deeper than me or if Sultan doesn't work for you, I would just say just take some translucent powder and powder it over that little brow area, but leave the crease tacky. So now with a pencil brush, it's a fat pencil brush, I'm taking Three Wishes and just stamping this into the crease area so that I can have a nice pigmented little crease area. So now the blending brush, it's still kind of on the small side. I'm gonna go back into Three Wishes and just softly start blending the edges. And I'll dip back in if I need to, but I just want it to be a nice little blend of this blue shade. And I am just gonna have it come out a little bit, nothing too drastic. Dip back in and connect it down. Like I mentioned, this is going to be a very blue heavy look. I thought that would be fun. Clean the brush off and dip a little bit of Sultan. And then I'm gonna take the pencil brush from earlier just to soften the edges on the inner part because I don't want it to get too out of control. Just kind of clean it off a little bit and just buff these edges. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and just bring it a little bit further in. We are gonna put the shimmer down. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and grab Genie with my finger and just place this across the lid. Almost all the way. I think I'm just gonna leave that little inner portion blank. And then we'll blend these two together. Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and go to a flat brush. Okay, so I think I'm gonna take Diamond in the Rough and spray it a little and go ahead and pack it on the actual inner corner. Trying to decide if I want this to be the color on the lid. I think I do. I'm gonna go ahead and bring this up onto the lid as well, on that space I left blank. I'm bringing it kind of over the other shade, kind of like a cut crease, and then blending it where they meet. And then I'm gonna dip the other side of the brush into Princess and pop that into that little center part where they meet so that it's just kind of a nice mesh of blue. But when you actually look, you do get those different tones. You really don't see much of a difference between the two or the three shades, but I like it that way. All right, and then I'm just going to take my little angle brush and spray it and use Genie to line the lower lash line. I think I will leave the blank space that I like to do on the inner part, so kind of come down a little bit at an angle. I feel like it just really helps brighten the eye up. Clean that brush off. Go into a Diamond in the Rough and fill in the little space I left. And then with the pencil brush, I will do a little bit of Three Wishes and lightly buff this down. I don't want to buff it down too much though. Okay, I think that's it. Pretty much just a simple blue smoky eye, just a handful of shades. I love it, it's very fun. Okay, so let me grab a blue liner. I bet this one would be fun to bring a little brightness into it. This is Prance from ColourPop. Let me add that. Mascara, well, I don't need mascara actually. Let me just add lashes and I'll pick out a lip and I'll be right back. All right, so this is the finished second look. I ended up going for a bolder pair of lashes because as you can tell, I did not do any winged liner. So I felt like it was still a dark and smoky enough look that it could handle some bold lashes. So I used a pair of lightly lashes in the style Blissful Baby. So they're still nice and flared, but they're very dark and bold because they're a very thick pair. Then for lips, I wanted to go with something kind of glossy but frosty. So I went with the Fenty Gloss Bomb in Diamond Milk. And then just to kind of add a little bit of brightness, I took one of my Collective Cosmetics highlighters, just the kind of whitish blue one from my palette. I just popped a little bit of that over the top of the inner corner and this little dash underneath just to brighten it up a bit more. So really any kind of whitish or blue toned highlighter you could pop over the top and that would just help brighten it up a little bit. But yeah, that's it for the finished second look. I really love this one. The blues are just so beautiful in this palette, especially the shimmers. The shimmers are gorgeous, but that blue matte, I mean, you can really blend it out into such a gorgeous color. So very, very happy I decided to go with the blues on this look. So I hope you guys enjoyed both looks. Let me know which one is your favorite in the comments below. And if you want to see more from this palette, I think it would be fun to do maybe a palette bingo in the future with it. Remember, we're on a little bit of a time constraint right now, but I do want to do something like that because I really do. This is probably one of my favorite recent purchases as far as palettes go, just because I really love the colors in it. So I definitely am very happy to revisit it again in the future. And I think a bingo would be really fun. So that is all for this video. If you guys enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.